Hello, everyone. My name is Christie Culp, and I'm the Associate Director of International Admission at Loyola Marymount University. I'd like to thank you for joining this presentation on studying the creative arts, which has been recorded for Education USA's Virtual Fair 2021. So first off, I'll read through the agenda and we'll get right to it. So first, I'd like to define what creative arts are. Then look at their effects on industries. Then we'll take a look at workplace values and skills. Then we'll look at the impact on the economy. After which we'll take a look at practical outcomes, and then we'll look at a few examples that are on my campus, and we'll go from there. All right, so first off, let's start with a definition of what creative arts is. The question is, why study the creative arts? Well, first off, creation is defined by the process of having original ideas that have value. Innovation, on the other hand, is to introduce change and outcome of business and entrepreneurial activity. So it's a bit more than just drawing or painting. It's actually the creation and the innovation process that is so valuable and at the core of these types of studies. So let's take a look at the effects of creation and innovation on industries throughout the past. So as you can see in the top left-hand corner, data entry has been taken over by automation. So all of those jobs eliminated. As you can see on the bottom, the Ford assembly line, as they're putting together the Model A, has been taken over also by robots. And so once again, those jobs have been eliminated. So the innovation and the creation process have eliminated a number of jobs and will continue to do so throughout the future. As you can see, this beautiful dial-up dial phone, rotary phone, those are absolutely gorgeous, but they are what? They are extinct. All of these jobs and this item extinct. Just a few examples of the ways that innovation and creation have impacted the job market and the things that we use daily. So basically, creation and innovation disrupts. So anyone that creates and innovates is a disruptor to the current form of doing business, so to speak. Now let's look at your generation. Your generation are native with technology. So you guys are generally, if you're applying to college now, you're born about 2001, 2002, and later. And so you can see that you guys were born with an iPod in hand. You knew what Facebook was before you could speak. And so your path will take a completely different trajectory than your parents or your grandparents. Obviously, you're perhaps even your older brothers and sisters. They say right now that 65% of students entering middle school will graduate into a job that does not yet exist. So are you one of those students that says, I don't know what I want to study yet? There's a reason. Maybe that major hasn't been made yet. Maybe it's a major for a job that doesn't yet exist. So that's the good news, and you can share that with your parents. So creativity and innovation. Is there any value in the job market for creativity and innovation? Well, don't take my word for it. Let's call a friend and see what the World Economic Forum says. They're a subtle authority in said industry. So let's take a look. So in 2015, you can see that creativity was number 10 on their top 10 skills. But just a few years later in 2020, it jumped from number 10 to number 3. And so as you're looking at these lists, do you see innovation anywhere? It hasn't yet made the list, but if you take a look at what the World Economic Forum is saying for the top skills for 2025, where do you see innovation on this list? In pole position, the very first on the list. And as you can see that creativity didn't go very far. So creativity and innovation are some of the top skills according to the World Economic Forum for the future for 2025. So what place do creativity and innovation have? Well, let's take a look at economics. Show me the money, right? The creative economy. What is the creative economy? The creative economy is inclusive of all kinds of creative activities, whether expressed as an art of innovation. Significant components of the creative economy are the creative industries that depend on the creatives for their employment and wealth. And so I've taken a lot of this data from an institution that we have dual enrollment with, and it's Otis College of Art and Design. Shout out to our friends at Otis. They put out a creative economy report each year. And so this information comes directly from one of their publications. And again, my students and their students do enjoy cross enrollment. So within the United States, you can see that even in California, we are the 5th largest GDP in the world. And Los Angeles County, if we were our own country, we'd be the 15th largest GDP. That's 1.5. And as you can see, in 2016, the creative economy had a very big impact on California economies. You can see here it's over $400 billion, both in direct, indirect, and included. So let's look outside of the US. So in the UK, you can see that the creative economy and creative industries were valued at over £100 billion in 2018. So we're not just looking at the creative economy in California, in Los Angeles, in the US, but also worldwide. It has a very big effect on economies throughout the world. Now, the 12 super sectors you can see here are then subdivided into 57 other sectors. And so there's many different job descriptions within these super sectors. So, and these are the jobs that we know of right now. So there are many jobs that will evolve in the future. So once again, show me the money. Show me that studying the creative arts has a professional value to it. Let's take a look at the creative economy here in Los Angeles. Let's take a look at software developers and applications. So again, this is a few years old from 2016, so it's even more developed today. So software developers and applications developers were making above $100,000. Understand the median wage here on the bottom here is just below $40,000. So even fabric and apparel pattern makers are making above the average income in the county of Los Angeles. Of course, producers and directors are looking at about $100,000. Remember, this is the median wage. Video editors and filmmakers are about 95. Well, I know people that are making off the top of my head 10 times that a year doing exactly those jobs. And so remember that these are median wages when we're looking at the creative economy. So you can see art teachers are way above the average, double above the average. Fashion designers, commercial industrial designers, even sound engineers are almost 1.5 times, earning 1.5 times the amount of the median wage in the LA economy. So in terms of studying at an institution and seeing what those outcomes are, many institutions provide some type of data. At my particular institution, we have a web page that catalogs all of this information so that families can base a decision to put LMU, Loyola Marymount, on their application list based on data rather than based on emotion. So I encourage you to visit outcomes.lmu.edu because you can further drill down between the last 5 years of graduation data and post-employment of the value of an LMU education where students are working, where they're going to graduate school. But you can also further drill down to see what the students from science and engineering did for a particular year, or the School of Film and Television, for 2016, or perhaps 2018 for the students that studied in the Communication and Fine Arts division. So you can do your due diligence to see what they're making, what industries they're going into, what percentage they're working 6 months after graduation, and where they're working. And so I highly encourage you to do your due diligence when you're looking at perhaps studying a creative major to see what those outcomes are. And so we at LMU are, we strive to be very transparent with the value of an LMU education in terms of even down to the salaries that students are making that come from a specific school. So you can further drill down by school, by year, or see all the students from any particular or any given year. There are many institutions that have a career and professional development office. I know that our particular office catalogs all the opportunities that are available for students. Right now, we have about 13,000 opportunities on our website, but many institutions do something very similar. So here are some icons, for example, of students from my institution where they're getting jobs post-graduation. And it's also a good indication of where they are doing internships at while they're studying at LMU. Once again, on this website, you can further see where students, where they're going, if they're going to graduate school, if they're working, etc. So take a peek at this website. Once again, here are some icons where students from the class of 19 from communication and fine arts ended up. If you wanted to see more, click on view more companies. Of course, my campus is right in the middle of the tech industry of Los Angeles, the film industry, and the engineering industry. And so we are very nicely located when it comes to the creative arts. Now, if you're looking for some stories of students that have achieved success post-graduation that have studied a creative art, my question is, have you seen The Hunger Games? This guy on the right graduated with a production degree from my institution, and he directed 3 out of 4 of The Hunger Games. If you watched a cartoon called Johnny Bravo, this guy, Van Partible, majored in animation. He did an internship at Cartoon Network, and then the rest is history. This guy on the top left actually enrolled at LMU as an engineering major. At LMU, you have the flexibility of changing your major from one to another, even in between schools. So he was an engineering major, and he decided that he didn't want to take math and science anymore. So he switched to screenwriting. Well, if you've watched American Horror Story, Final Destination, The X-Files, etc., you've been affected by some of his work. And so, of course, these are examples from my institution, which is about 6,600 undergraduates with a student professor ratio of 10 to 1 and an average class size of 20. But these are the types of creative majors that we offer at my institution. So you can see animation, screenwriting as a major and a minor, film production. This is a really nice minor that we've just added, interactive gaming and immersive media. So if a student wanted to make an avatar type film, of course, we have all the latest technology on campus to do so, but we're seeing in Los Angeles, especially because we're the hub of esports, but we also have a very robust engineering industry here and the creative economy. We're seeing a lot of scientists and creatives come together. So again, on campus, if a student wanted to make an avatar movie, absolutely. But what our students are working on is actually at that next step. So our computer scientists and electrical engineers and screenwriters and television production majors and animators are coming together to create that next movie going game experience. And so we don't know what that's going to look like, but we're really excited about the creativity from both the sciences and the creative arts coming together. Here are some majors in communication and fine arts. Clearly, we're in Los Angeles, so theater arts is going to be very popular. And once again, collaboration between science and engineering. Here's that minor between the television, School of Television and the Science and Engineering Department, interactive gaming and immersive media. We're located right in the center of all the tech industries of the city. Any university right now, one of the silver linings of COVID is you can test drive. You can take us for a test drive before you sign on the dotted line. So I encourage you to peruse our website, meet our deans, take a class for free. You can scan this QR code. You can see that in November, we have a robust offering of free classes, whether you are interested in fine arts or science and engineering, etc. We have something for you. I want to thank you once again. My name is Christie Culp, again, Associate Director for International Admission at Loyola Marymount University. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in my booth to answer questions and tell you a little bit more about Loyola Marymount at the fair. All right. Bye now.